Welcome to another lesson inside of our program here. If you are just following us, maybe this is the first time you connected with us, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to jump in. We're going to cover these in 10 minutes or less. And again, today we're talking about questions. Questions are the key that open the mind's locked doors. All right, so we're going to talk about mastering one of the most powerful tools you have. And why is it powerful? Let's look at why questions create change. Not just get information, but actually create change. Number one, the human brain cannot ignore a question. It automatically searches for an answer. So good questions don't give direction, they create discovery by bypassing resistance and activating a client's internal wisdom. Well, let me go a little deeper. Talking can create a defense. Asking question creates ownership. All right. Now, we're going to ask, this is really going back to the Socratic method. It's named after the philosopher Socrates, using structured dialogue to uncover truth through question, through inquiry. So asking layered questions that lead clients deeper into awareness, never assuming, but always exploring and getting clients to realize the answers for themselves. Now, this is where coaching and getting them to recognize the answers themselves is different than consulting or mentorship. But if a client says, I can't change, my question is going to be, what makes that true? Well, I've failed before. Gotcha. And what did we learn from those failures? Okay. So if I can't change, I just can't change. Why is that true? Well, it's because I failed before. Well, what did you learn from those failures? Well, maybe that I'm capable of trying again. See, in this case, you didn't convince them, you led them to their own truth. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a couple points. Number one, write this down. Clarifying questions. Cut through vagueness. So when somebody makes a statement, we want to cut through the vagueness and get down to clarity. So I will go with something like, well, what specifically do you mean by that? Or can you give me an example? So that's a clarifying question. Then we want a challenging question. How do you know that's true? You know, what a challenging question does is it disrupts limited patterns gently. So when they make a statement, I'm going to go, well, I'm going to challenge it. How do you know that's true? Well, let me ask you, what would happen if you didn't believe that anymore? If someone says, well, I always this, well, I never this, and a bit of broad statement, very definitive. I'm going to go, well, what would happen? I'm curious, what would happen if you didn't believe that anymore? What would happen if you didn't live by that made-up rule anymore? And then there's reframing questions. So this really shifts their perspective. Gotcha. So what else could that mean? What else could that mean? If somebody says, well, I failed at this, or this never works. Again, well, what else could this mean? Or how could this be happening for you instead of to you? I recently looked at one of the decisions I made a few years ago, a business decision. It did not turn out the way I wanted it to. And even this morning, I was thinking back on that. Now, you know what? What else could that mean? What did I learn from that experience? I shifted my perspective. And then it was, how could this be happening for me instead of to me or against me? So that is your reframe. And then you're going to get into identity questions. So you're aligning that person with a higher purpose. So, okay, well, Susan, who are you when you're at your best? Well, Tom, who do you need to become to achieve this? Okay? And then there's future-oriented questions. All right? If this problem was solved, what would your life look like? And how will you know you've succeeded? So I'm going to read this to you back one more time and then go back and watch the video. Clarifying questions, challenging questions, reframing, identity, and future-oriented questions. All right. So, and every effective question has rhythm. So you open the space. Hey, talk to me. What's on your mind today? What was it that made you decide to reach out to us? Why did you book a call? Why did you come in for a session? Then we're going to go deeper, get into more of the values and criteria. Well, gotcha. Well, why is that important? Okay. Then we're going to challenge them gently. Well, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from accomplishing that? Reframe. What's another way to see this? And then we're going to anchor in action. This is important in coaching. Gotcha. So let me ask you, Susan, what's your next small step? See, now we've went from awareness to insight to action. All right. So let me give you a little bit of homework on this one. I want you to actually journal out after each session. Write down when you're working with a client, after each session, write down the most powerful question you asked and why did it work. And then take one statement and build a 5-question chain that leads to insight. Go back and take notes. And then this is for you specifically. When you face a challenge, use the same question and flow on yourself. The same flow. What's on your mind? All right, let's pick something. Just pick something. Why is that important to you? Let's get some values. Let's get some criteria. Let's go a little deeper. What's stopping us from accomplishing that? Or what's stopping us from finding the solution to that constraint? What's another way to see this? And then ultimately, what's our next small step? All right. So asking powerful questions isn't about being clever. It's about being curious. The right questions will dissolve resistance, spark awareness, and help your clients become the best that they can be. Now, asking questions is great. But next week, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to go into the art of accountability and the art of follow through. How to help clients from insight into consistent action. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.